So, how we all doing today? It's a lovely day out here, and when the weather's nice, after like it's been dreary like for a few months, like in the winter time, and then like the sunny days, start to like present themselves like more and more. That thing gets in the air a little bit. It's that feeling that generates or magnetizes one person to the next person, right? I don't want to say quote unquote love is in the air, but that's kind of like how you sort of like get that feeling like, oh man, it's a good time to this might be a good time like be with somebody, take some trips on a nice day to the beach, whatever, something like that. Anyhow, the point that I'm tap dancing around at this point is, okay, we're gonna clear the air on some things a little bit. Let's say a guy, he's had his eye on a girl that he's been, she crosses all his T's and dots all his I's. He's really feeling her, right? And she don't really know it, so he's maybe a little timid or shy about it. And by the time he finally comes around to making his feelings be known, she reacts to it like kind of well, but she doesn't really reciprocate those feelings, right? I mean, she's not feeling him the same as he's feeling her, which is always a high probability. Which, ladies, I don't understand why that is. I mean, I don't understand why it's always the guy who's always having those feelings for a girl and not always reciprocated. But maybe that's for another post. I don't know. Maybe we'll touch on that later on. I don't know. However, sticking to the topic. Okay, so strikes out, or fouls out, whatever you want to call it. The at-bat was not a successful one, right? And that's, it's unfortunate, but that's just how things go. As a man, or as men, I should say, we have to, just take that and, roll forward. Can't dwell on it. Can't beat ourselves up over it. But the thing that, I'm getting to is you can't, most of the time, I would say at my opinion, at least like 97% of the time, you can't ever like circle back to that one. That person. If it didn't work out, when you shot your shot and it didn't, go into the basket, that's just what happens. And like I said, you can't circle back to it. But what you can do is, after some time has gone by, sorry for the shaking, freeway is very piss poorly paved in today's America, but after some time has gone by, a fellow has recuperated himself and said, okay, put myself out there one time, didn't work out, no hard feelings obviously, but we'll roll around and take some feelers out there, see what else is happening. So say the same guy, he sees somewhere, and this is way down the line, okay, I'm talking way down the road, sees somebody else that just once again crosses his T's, dots his I's, right? And it happens. There's not always, unfortunately, like, you might feel that one person is for you, but if it doesn't work out, that just tells you that that person wasn't the one for you. And the person that is the one for you may not just fall into your lap. You might have to, it's like they say, you don't dress for the job you have, you dress for the job you want. Well, if you want the job that you want, you got to dress up for it, which means you got to put the effort into it. Which means if you want to be with a particular person, you got to make that move. It's not just going to fall into your lap. Okay, so now that I've explained that, say, like I said, the same guy way down the road after that first instant didn't work out for him, see somebody that, you know, crosses his pattern, and he's thinking, okay, you know, this is something that, you know, could possibly, you know, be a good situation. I'm hoping so. I'm saying this, you know, cathartically, as if I'm that person, which I'm not, but, you know, want to take that shot, right? You don't just want to, you know, let an opportunity go by. And hey, congratulations, she reciprocates that feeling, right? I mean, it's very isolated. Like, she sees you, she, you know, something about, you know, you as the guy that, you know, really, you know, tickles her fancy. And hey, you start going forward from there, right? Not a problem. A little bit later down the line, you get word somehow, it just slips out somehow, that this new girl that you are, you know, have made a connection with is friends with the previous person that you had originally struck out with. Now, I don't need to be the one to have to explain, even though I'm about to, that when something like that happens, girls talk. I'm just gonna keep it honest. If you don't agree with me, hey, let's discuss it. But, you know, that's just the land where I come from. And we all know that when that situation comes about, that first girl is gonna say something most likely to the effect of, hey girl, this dude that you're talking to, or you could be with, whatever, you know, he tried to get at me some yada yada time back, and, you know, he used to say this to me and said that to me, and look girl, I still got on my phone, and, you know, all this stuff, right? And it just creates this new divide, most likely, between the dude and the new girl that he, you know, has made a really good connection with. And all it does is, you know, put a seed in her head that's going to start growing about, oh, this guy, you know, he's just going to talk to whatever girl, and, you know, he's already tried to talk to my friend, and I don't know if I can trust him around my friend now, and this and that. Now, what I'm trying to get at, though, is why is that a problem? Like, if you didn't know this guy previously, you know, he could have been talking to anybody that you didn't know about, you know, ahead of time. So what's the difference? Like, oh, okay, the girl's your friend, right? But before you found that out, I'm speaking to the girl here, you know, scenario. Before you found that out about the guy, was there anything that, like, red flagged you about him? Like, oh, well, you know, he puts his elbows on the dinner table when he eats, and I don't like, or, you know, something like that. If nothing like that really sets you off, that, you know, was part of your direct interaction with this guy, then all of a sudden you find out some, like, information about him that was, like, previous, secondhand, you know, I want to say, like, way in the past, because it's not like, you know, he circled back to this girl and then, you know, struck out a second time and then, you know, went on to you, or even used her as, you know, what I like to call, you know, trade bait to leapfrog to you, which is the second girl. Like, no, you two were a very isolated incident that, you know, randomly crossed paths. And okay, so why are you now gonna hold this guy accountable for, or why would any girl hold a guy accountable for something that he did previously that had nothing to do with anything between you two? And it wasn't like a bad, like, person. It's not like, you know, he beat up on his previous ex-girlfriend or nothing. No, it was just, you know, he tried to, you know, make a move on a girl, or at least, you know, express his feelings, you know, toward a certain girl, and, you know, she, for all intents and purposes, shot him down. Which, you know, like I said, it happens, but what do you expect for, or what do you expect to happen? Like, If somebody gets turned down, they're not just gonna, stick themselves in a closet, and like never come out, until somebody that they want to be with comes and finds them. No. They're gonna, be out there. Now, if this was some random girl, that he met that you'll never hear about, well, then you never would have heard about it. But that doesn't change the fact that it happened. But all of a sudden, the fact that it happened with somebody you knew and she turned him down, nobody said, well, at least he never harbored any bad feelings about it. So he never held it against anybody, never took it out on anybody. It was just, hey, she wasn't feeling him. And no problem. Well, I mean, in my eyes, no problem. Because I'm going to tell you, we're about to, spin the barrel of the gun around here. If I'm talking to a girl and I find out that, one of my homeboys, I didn't know about, one of my homeboys, like, try to holler at her and, maybe they exchange, some conversation in between, but nothing happened. And later on, I get with, said girl, and one of them comes up to me, or most likely it's going to be my homeboy, comes to me and says, hey man, her and I used to talk, this and that, it didn't work out, like she wasn't like feeling me or whatever, but I just want you to know, dog, like, we used to, have some like convo with each other. And I would say, like, okay, like, what was the extent of it? And so what? Nothing happened? You tell me nothing happened? Nothing happened. I'm still feeling the girl. I'm not going to hold the fact that before she knew who I was and before she knew that this guy was my friend, that, oh, I can't talk to her now. Like, that's so wrong. And no, it doesn't make any sense. Like, in what world would that make sense? Like, honestly, somebody tell me, if I'm feeling somebody, why would their previous, interaction have anything to do with me? Nothing bad happened. It was just talking. So why would a girl that a guy previously tried to talk to go to the new girl that he is now talking to and say, hey, ooh, girl, he used to talk to me and this is what he said, and ooh, girl, you better watch him, and he's sneaky, he extra, all this other stuff. I mean, you can miss me with that, but why would people like not try to see something like that like go through? If you really didn't care about two people having an interaction with each other, why would you have to say anything? And why would the girls, like the new girl, say, oh, and all of a sudden I can't be around you no more, like we can't talk like this anymore because you try to holler at my friend? It's like, well, it ain't like you try to holler at her like now that y'all together, you didn't know about it. This was X amount of time ago. I don't know if there's a statute of limitations on how long ago, if you talk to somebody who's a friend or something, that's acceptable. But I don't know. How do y'all think about that? Conversely, I would have saved this for another post, but I feel like it's relevant, so I'll go forward with it now. What would be the problem if a guy tried to talk to a girl and she shoots him down, and he directly goes through that same girl that shot him down, and she has a friend that he might be feeling, and like he directly goes through her and says, hey, well, if it ain't gonna work out with you and I, like, you got like some single friends or something, because if a guy's single and he's looking, to mingle with somebody that's out there, I mean, personally, I don't see the harm in that. But lot of girls wouldn't do that. And the reason why I'm asking is because imagine if a guy or if a girl went up to a guy and said, well, you know, she tried to holler at him and he's not feeling her, which, I mean, this very rarely happens, but a girl goes up to a guy and, you know, she tries to shoot her shot at him and, you know, he turns her down, you know, however the case goes, and she goes up to the guy and says, well, do you have any, you know, homies that, you know, ain't got no girlfriend that, you know, might be, you know, such and such? A guy would probably be like, well, you know, my homeboy Tony, you know, he's single, he's cool with it. We're not just gonna say no, or, you know, I'm not gonna go and run and tell Tony like, hey dude, hey, she tried to holler at me, you know what I'm saying, might wanna, you know, watch your back, this and that. I'm gonna go say, hey Tony, somebody, you know, asking about you, or not you directly, but asking about your type, which quote unquote would be my friend, that's the type. But it's like, okay, a guy wouldn't just shoot down a girl and then if she said, hey, do you got any friends, he's just gonna say like, oh no, if you, I mean, you can't talk to none of my friends either. Ain't no guy gonna say that. I mean, come on now. So if a guy goes to a girl and she shoots him down and he says, hey, well, if it ain't gonna work out between me and you, what's up with, you know, shorty over there? Obviously I don't talk like that, but, you know, like, hey, what's up with shorty over there? You know, she look cool, she look nice, you know, if she think, I mean, and a lot of girls would be like, hey girl, he just tried to holler at me, don't talk to him, he this and he that. Like, I don't really know a lot of girls that would probably go up to their homegirl and be like, hey girl, I got this guy over here, you know, he's asking about you, this and that. Because obviously you don't like him. You don't want to have no engagement, you know, with him. I don't mean engagement, married, but I'm talking about, you know, you don't want to have any kind of association with him as far as, you know, that goes, relation, whatever. But because you don't like him and you don't want to talk to him, who's to say that your friend doesn't feel the same way or wouldn't feel the same way? She could feel completely in the zone of, yeah, you know, he's a good looking girl. Where's he at? What's he look? Or, you know, just anything. Some girls would do that and you would never get that chance to find out, because most of the time girls would go up to their friend and be like, hey, this dude asking about you and he just tried to hit on me. Like, but I'm just saying, guys wouldn't do that. Guys wouldn't go up to their homeboy and say, hey dude, hey, she just tried to get at me, might want to like watch your back or whatever. I mean, why would I deny my friend a chance at something that could like possibly pop off for him, that, you know, maybe I wasn't feeling her, but I'm not gonna, you know, maybe my friend, you know, they might end up having like a good relationship down the road, whatever the case. And I'm just gonna be honest, I've seen situations like that happen, like with my own eyes. Which is why I'm asking, like, why does it work one way from fellas to their homeboys, but it doesn't always work like that from like women with a guy approaching them and they get shot down, and then all of a sudden, you know, they're trying to approach another girl who's like their friend, and the original girl be like, no girl, ooh, no, don't do that. Like, nah, that's super messy right there. I mean, come on, you don't know what somebody else is gonna be feeling. Even if like it's your friend, you're trying to protect them or whatever, you still don't know what's going on in their head. Everybody has different brains, even though you might know somebody like the back of your hand, but you still, you can't, I just want to say, you don't want to deny somebody something like that because you just don't know. Okay, so ladies, fellas, as I always say, chime in. What are y'all thinking? Why is it like that? What are y'all opinions? I just want to know. I mean, I don't always encounter this kind of thing. In fact, I think it's only happened to me like once or twice, and a very long time ago. But I don't know. Y'all tell me. I do like opinions, honestly, whether I agree with them or not. I like seeing everybody's, mind states about these kinds of things. So chime in if you were game enough to sit through this whole conversation. I appreciate it. And hit that like and subscribe button. Share also if you're feeling up to it. And let me know what y'all think. See y'all later.